Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Ever since hashtag NSAS started, it has given a lot of hope to a lot of Nigerians who believe that probably Nigeria, their votes don't count, the electorate do not have a voice. From the hashtag from social media, it translated to real physical, real life protest on ground and back to social media. And that's to tell you how powerful and how effective social media can be when it comes to the issue of human rights activism. Well, as we speak, the government is at it again, and they're looking at fighting not just fake news, they're also looking at fighting hate speech, although we do not have an idea exactly what is contained in hate speech, but we will find out soon. And some good amount of money have been kept for such purposes anyway. But before we go into the newspaper further analysis, we would like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, the federal government is budgeting about 336 million naira to fight hate speech and others. The Federal Ministry of Information and Culture has budgeted 336 million naira to campaign against hate speech and fake news. This is contained in the 2021 budget proposal presented to the National Assembly by the President Major General Buhari, retired, on Thursday. It reads in part, ERGP 9124023 Special Enlightenment Campaign on Government Policies and Programs, testimonial series to gauge the impact of government policies on the citizenry, advocacy against fake news, hate speech, farmers herders clashes, banditry, rape, and so on. Ongoing is about 336,150,959 naira. The federal government has in recent times put in place several strict measures to tackle hate speech and fake news amid criticisms from right groups that it's a ruse to stifle free speech. The National Broadcasting Commission had recently amended the broadcast code, hiking the fine for hate speech from 500,000 naira to 5 million naira, a move which has been challenged in court. A bill that imposes the death penalty on any person found guilty of any form of hate speech that the result in the death of another person is currently before the Senate. My God. All on hate speech, and yet Fulani herdsmen have been killing people. They have not put any penalty on it. Let's continue. Tagged National Commission for the Prohibition of Hate Speeches. The bill is sponsored by the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate, Abdullahi Aliu Sabi, APC Niger State. It states in part, any person who commits an offence under this section shall be liable to life imprisonment, and where the act causes any loss of life, the person shall be punished with death by hanging for hate speech. On offences like harassment on the basis of ethnicity, racial contempt, the bill proposes not less than a 5-year jail term or a fine of not less than 10 million naira or both, just for racism, racist talk, bigotry of any kind. Either you get 5-year jail term or you get to pay 10 million naira fine, or you even get both. You go to 5 years, you go to jail for 5 years, and you also still pay 10 million naira fine. Now, this is where we are right now. Now, the question is, for hate speech alone, just for hate speech, I read this part again. Say, a bill that imposes the death penalty on any person found guilty of any form of hate speech that results in the death of another person is currently before the Senate. Which means if you had said something that looks like something and the person dies, your own is death penalty. That's his speech. Now, there's not a case of this. We're not looking at hate speech of who is talking. We're looking at a situation where headsmen, talking about people, have killed another person. They're walking freely. All right. But this one is just talking, making somebody psychologically, it's death sentence. And the fact that you abuse somebody, as we speak, we have what's it called now? Corrupt leaders who have looted the company in the country dry in hundreds, in billions, in hundreds of millions of naira. There is no penalty on their head. I'm talking about practical penalty, no penalty on their head. So you now say, so now what is hate speech? Is hate speech criticism? And like human rights, one of the human rights people who are actually fighting against this before now, are you gagging the media? What is the term? What is a broad spectrum word? This is a word that is very broad. Hate speech. What exactly is termed hate speech? What are we looking at as hate speech? And it's even before the saying it. And oh dear, but let's just feel what Nigerians are saying concerning this matter. This is really, really very serious. This is too bad. No more free speech under Buhari. You will always remember me for the freedom you enjoyed under me. Good luck, Ebele Jonathan. All right, this one is just quoting what Jonathan must have said way, way back some years back. This one here is saying, whoa, this one here is saying more than 50% will be swallowed by more than 50% will be swallowed by politicians, fantastically corrupt people. Okay, more than 50% gotten funds will be swallowed by politicians. This one here is saying 336 million naira for hate speech. The same amount could be spent on employment creation to engage those who are even inciting the so-called hate speech. But no, they choose the other way. Those supporting this government should be ashamed of themselves. There's nothing good in supporting no freedom of speech, backwardness, and hardship. This is serious. Nigerians are beginning to complain already. Honestly, this money, we don't even have it so much. Why don't we use it to see how we can create and even boost our economy? Maybe like creating jobs, beefing up our security. What's this on his speech? I'm sure there's some part in our constitution that takes care of this part called hate speech. And what they said is a place where they need to, enlighten the media, enlighten the public on what hate speech is. But that's so much amount of money just for hate speech. But let's continue. This one here is saying, money will them for you set up schools, settle ASU and NSAS. Who fake news help? This government just weak me, but Davido just empower me. It is well. This one here is saying, all this money just to buy super glue to hold Nigeria together. Stop wasting your money. This is serious. This one here says, rather, as in nonsense. This one here is saying, make sure they budget money to buy sense too. Nigerians are getting really, really angry. This one is Iran, as in rubbish, nonsense. This one here is saying, you just poured out my heart. Reform Nigeria police brutality. I'm sure they're at it, right? They're working on it right now. This one here is saying, the money is too small. They should make it $2 billion. You can imagine. We ready for una this time around, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, death for death. We will not be pushed around anymore with suffering and smiling. It don't end. This one here is now for this government. This one here is saying, oh, this one is speaking language, is writing in another language. So he say, as soon still dey strike, dem no send. God forbid, which kind of wickedness be this? Why should I not hate Nigeria with all this? It is well. I can't go through. There's so much anger on the land. I tell you, people are really vexed. But I think they should make this. If this bill is already in the house, they should make it public. If they're going to talk about hate speech, Nigerians should be also in the know. Nigerians should also have the right as stakeholders to contribute what they want or not. I have seen the power of the social media. You all have seen the power of social media. How just NSAS now started from the social media and it translated to real protest. Now imagine where hate speech is being put, and it is even a broad spectrum word. It's a broad word. It has no ending really. So what do we mean by hate speech? And it is actually the penalty is very stiff, death. As in a situation where somebody dies by quote and unquote hate speech, it's death. And if for any reason you engage in bigotry of any kind, tribalism or tribal statement or racist statement, you get to pay 10 million naira plus, of course, going to jail, as the case may be. It may or may not, be both. But what we are looking at is so stiff for the populace, but very light for the corrupt politicians. Why are we not looking at death by hanging for corrupt politicians? Why are they fizzling that part out and looking at it? Let's meet in our comment section. Let's interact. What's your take on this? This is really, really not too nice. I feel that if they want to make this nice, they want everybody to be if they want it to be all inclusive, they should make it a public hearing. Let everybody's opinion count.